Hello and welcome to another NaniNovel update video. This time we are introducing version 1.20. For a complete list of new features and changes, check the link on the screen or wait until the end of the video. As with any major update, be sure to consult the documentation in beforehand as this version has a lot of big changes. Without further ado, let's dive into the details. In the previous update video, we showcased an early build of the standalone NaniNovel script editor, and while it's still work in progress, we hope to introduce a working version of the StoryGraph feature by the end of this year. This will replace and expand upon the legacy script graph built into NaniNovel, so stay tuned. NaniNovel 1.20 is designed to work with newer versions of Unity, including the newly introduced Unity 6. As a result of improvements made to package management by Unity, NaniNovel will now be hosted through the Universal Package Manager, which brings some benefits such as preventing accidental modifications of the source files and no longer needing to manually remove and reinstall the package with every update. Previously, we uploaded legacy versions of NaniNovel to the Asset Store while distributing the most recent stable and pre-release versions through our Discord channel. Starting from 1.20, the stable version of NaniNovel will be released on the Asset Store, however, the pre-release version will only be available through a GitHub stream, which can be accessed by registering your license key via account.naninovel.com. More information can be found in the Getting Started guide, which has been revamped to include information about release cycles and history. 1.20 brings some major changes to scenario scripting. The first major change is the introduction of nesting. This makes it possible to associate a group of commands with a host command. Legacy commands that support this feature include @choice and @if, while there are a handful of new commands introduced in 1.20 that are specifically designed for nesting. Due to the introduction of nesting commands like @await and @trans, the value of the wait by default option in new NaniNovel projects will now be set to false by default. This is due to the assumption that it is more common to await a group of commands instead of individual commands one by one. However, you're always free to toggle this setting in the script player configuration. Boolean or true or false statements in scenario scripting have been simplified. It is no longer necessary to type out the entire Boolean command parameter name followed by its value in command lines. Instead, it's now possible to change the value with the parameter name and an exclamation mark. In 1.20, it's possible to modify the parameters of generic text lines by inlining a special command at the end of the line. Examples of available parameters, which were previously only accessible via @print, include the modification of print speed as well as controlling the skipping of text, among a handful of other options. There have also been major changes to scenario script naming requirements. It's no longer necessary to give a unique name to each scenario script file, and instead it's possible to refer to the files by their local path. As a result of this, scripts will need to be placed under a specific folder. This setting can be adjusted in the script's configuration. Moreover, 1.20 adds support for compiler localization, which gives developers the option to remap the control characters in the NaniScript language. With this, we hope we have addressed the issues that non-English speaking developers may face with the engine, as it may not be possible to output some of the common characters with certain keyboard layouts. More information can be found in the localization guide. 1.20 brings major overhauls to memory management, making the package even more performant while also giving developers more granular control over the loading and unloading of resources. You can now select between the new conservative or optimistic resource policies. More information can be found in the memory management guide. In addition, improvements have been made to the unloading of unused assets over time, such as actors, though if you'd prefer to dispose of the actors yourself, consider using the new @remove command. On top of the reworked resource policy settings, resources like scenario scripts, localization, and managed text documents will now be loaded on demand, significantly improving engine initialization time and reducing RAM usage on large projects. And for users of the addressable resource provider, we now provide the option to label the Naninovo addressable assets by the scripts in which they are referenced, greatly improving load times and RAM usage. For new projects, this option is enabled by default, and this can be changed in the resource provider configuration. 1.20 introduces more improvement to the Visual Studio Code IDE extension. To start off, it's now possible to change the version of the extension via the dedicated extension page, meaning you are now able to switch to a new release without the need to manually download a file via the Discord page. Furthermore, you can now rename refactor labels, scripts, and folders directly within Visual Studio Code, eliminating the need to manually rename files one by one or resorting to an external renaming solution. Additionally, with the introduction of nesting, it is now vital to keep your documents tidy, and as such we have introduced an option to format documents. This option, alongside the rename refactor option, is available via the right-click menu. Finally, similar to commands, we now have our own parser and evaluator for script expressions, which adds the support for expression diagnostics, autocomplete, function documentation, and completion by parameter. Consult the scripts expressions guide for more information. And that's the update in a nutshell. If you have any questions regarding the update, feel free to contact us via Discord. I hope you enjoy the new changes, and like and subscribe for more videos on Naninovo. Bye!